Tuesday, March the 17th. I'm here in the Lower East Side of Manhattan in New York City with the famous artist, hotelier, Randy Settenbrino. And today we're going to be discussing an unfortunate situation that just occurred related to the ADL Never Is Now conference that is wrapping up today at the Javits Center in New York City. Randy was invited to be a speaker on a panel with other business owners. Randy is a high-profile Jew. He is a proud Jew. He's a proud supporter of Israel. Two of his sons have fought in the IDF, and over the past 2.5 years, they have faced and experienced incredible amounts of Jew hate, anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism, whatever you want to call it. It's been atrocious and despicable. And other than people like me and other people who support him, he's been mostly on his own. The ADL and other prominent organizations have yet to really come to his aid. And sadly, he was invited by the ADL to speak on this conference with other business owners that have been facing incredible amounts of anti-Semitism, Jew hate, attacks on their business, doxing, threats, and I'll let him tell the story. But what is disappointing, that the ADL seems to not want strong Zionist Jews to speak up and speak out against what's actually happening. And from my own personal experiences, have been calling into question what the ADL is actually doing to help support the Jewish community. So this is our discussion with Randy. Randy, thank you for giving me some time today. I appreciate you reaching out to me, and I want to hear more about your story. So I guess just very quickly in a summary, you were invited. Tell us what happened.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be on your show. It's wonderful to see you again. Yes, you've been a strong system of support, and we're pleased to host this at the Blue Moon Hotel. We had, the ADL reached out to me, got some very lovely emails saying that I was ground zero for the harassment of Jewish business in New York City. And I felt, wow, maybe there's hope, there's always hope for redemption, and that the ADL was trying to start a new way of going about things, especially with the advent of having obviously anti-Semitic Meir that is calling out Zionism in place of the word Jew, is talking about a genocide, is talking about curtailing the protections that Jews have in the city. It's really troubling. So I thought maybe this was enough of a kick to give them that emphasis that's so badly needed to bring unity.
I have to ask before we even go further, were you surprised that they even invited you? Because when you told me they invited you to speak, I was like, have they not read this guy's writings? I mean, he's a very strong, very well educated. He's a Torah Jew. He's an Israel supporter Jew. He's a no-nonsense Jew. And the ADL seems to shy away from Jews like us who aren't afraid to push back and say, no more intifada, right? And we're not going to take this anymore.
Not only that, we're a Jewish identity center by default. And that was part of I think that caused such a tremendous reaction to us.
But were you surprised they invited you?
Yes, I was surprised, but I thought maybe they read my book, and maybe there was someone they had a tinge of conscience.
I bet they didn't even look at your stuff, because I was surprised they invited you, and I'm very proud of you. Mm-hmm. But knowing their fecklessness and their mediocrity in terms of really taking on the tough issues and their long distance approach to trying to solve this problem, you and I are on the front lines. I mean, we're like in your face, like, let's get real.
I agree. Everybody knows I've been a strong critic of the ADL and the Federation.
Right.
And the UJA, it's a tragedy, their choice and where they're putting their money these days.
And over the past 2.5 years, since you've been under attack at your hotel as a result of your sons serving in the IDF and your outspokenness, in New York City, you've been physically threatened, assaulted, and attacked. Your property's been assaulted and vandalized. You've been personally assaulted. They've come into your hotel. You've had death threats. One person was put in jail. Yes.
Yeah, there was an FBI level arrest. This guy haunted us for months and months and months. I got pictures of guns, knives, Zionist coward on top of weapons. It was nasty. One of our interns, a young high school girl, he threatened to rape her. My staff was scared. One person's quit. It was a nightmare. There was cyber war. There were posters all over New York City because you ripped some of them down personally.
I helped take some of them down for you. I mean, listen,
right. Close the Blue Moon Hotel.
Right.
Right?
And so during any of this period, I'm just curious, did ADL speak out on your behalf or reach out to you?
Look. This was like National Socialist 1933 boycott. It was ridiculously open out there. I myself, on my Substack and in Aretz Sheva, wrote several articles detailing it. My book, Between the Altar and the Sanctuary, The Life, Faith, and Fire of Rabbi Meir Kahane, discusses this whole event in the postscript. I've had it everywhere. And in my articles and in my book, I have been a staunch critic. But I thought that maybe somebody's starting to understand we're all in this together. And even if you're a Jew from the suburbs, even if you're a Jew from outer space, your digital footprint is everywhere. And every Jew can so be easily accounted for these days.
So to that point, what I find interesting is the ADL invited you to be a speaker on this panel with other Jewish business or high-profile Jewish business owners that have been attacked and harassed. There was a bunch of time from the invitation to the event, and at the 11th hour, they unceremoniously uninvited you with no explanation other than to say that the panel had changed.
No, I thought that they did look at me, and I'll tell you why. I thought they looked and they said, well, we're going to send you an agreement that you won't criticize publicly. Because...
Did you sign that agreement?
I did sign it. I won't criticize at the conference, the ADL. And if I'm in someone's house, I'm not going to insult you. I had no intention of doing that. But I did feel it's imperative to let people know how we must come together.
Yes.
How we can have, in a city like this, 10,000 people went together at the same time, at the right time, to keep our protections in place, to keep our synagogues safe, to keep people from feeling that they cannot walk in the street as an identifiable Jew.
But ADL is not, and again, I'm not trying to be critical in the sense of what the mission is, but having been on the front lines over the past 2.5 years myself, standing in the doorways of these synagogues as these jihadi, globalizing intifada lovers are trying to intimidate and harass and threaten us, I don't remember seeing the ADL doing anything to support these, these heinous attacks in our city, in our backyard. They speak out against it on, Jonathan Greenblatt comes out on these national talk shows and says, oh, it's bad, it's horrible. But I don't actually ever see them in the streets. I don't see them in the synagogues. Okay. And I agree with you that the question is, what are they actually doing?
What is anyone doing? I haven't seen one Jewish politician. When I have gone to events, it's a vanity show. They're not really interested in the Jew in the street. They're not interested in what the real problems are for Jewish businesses, for people who have suffered these last few years.
Yes.
And that is pathetic.
Yes.
They're talking about watching every move that Mamdani made. That's what Greenblatt said. Well, where were you till the election?
Right.
Why didn't you go to Satmar? Why didn't you go speak to Indig before Mamdani did? Why didn't you?
Yes.
I didn't agree with Andrew Cuomo. That was not my choice. I would have wanted someone that was, competent, someone that was a real New Yorker.
Common sense.
Someone that fought in the streets.
Common sense.
But that was their choice. So if that's your choice and if that's your candidate, then go.
Right.
Do what you have to do to make sure he's elected.
Yes.
But I wasn't surprised because they are more political than ideological.
Yeah.
And if you're not with the people that are helping us, you're complicit in what's happening to us. All of this activism that they call it has been funded has been slush funds, has USAID. They orchestrated. When the mob came outside in front of my hotel, and I stood out in the street, as you know, and I confronted them, and I put these young kids on notice as much as I could until the violent jihadis came, and then we had a situation where the police were there, and the police didn't do anything really. They couldn't keep them away. We had to protect our guests ourselves. One tried to come in the hotel, and one of our people clocked him, and he was immediately arrested instead of the one who tried to trespass.
Isn't it amazing that in a completely obvious position or situation of self-defense, they arrest the victim? Isn't it amazing?
Mm-hmm.
It really is. So it's very disappointing. I mean, I was looking forward to seeing you speak at this conference today. And in fact, again, I was surprised that they invited you. I was looking forward to see you debating and confronting some of these, our fellow Jews, fellow community members in their views and approaches, like you're saying. So
very flattering. But the truth is, I really had no intention of confronting the ADL.
Right.
As I said, I was in their house. I'm a respectful person.
Sure.
My intention was just to explain how we have to have unity. I'm a believer, so I may approach things differently than other people. My belief is that we're being squeezed for this very reason, that we have to have clarity to understand. The anti-Semitism doesn't matter. What matters is that we are together. And when we're together, as we saw in Israel, the bones of the concentration camps fought 7 ensuing armies, and there was victory.
Yes.
And this is the mindset, unfortunately, in America, and I love America in every bone of my body. As a descendant of Italian Americans, as a descendant of pogrom fleeing Jews, I love America in every part of my body. But if there's a shift in government, as we saw in the last administration, we can be in the same position. I grew up with survivors. Your grandfather was a survivor. They all knew it can happen here because they all worshipped Germany as a place of freedom.
But what you're talking about, I think, is a more important principle, is not the non-Jews in America, or it's really the Jewish community that you're talking about. And what we really need is unity now. And
I love that.
Unity, hashtag unity.
Okay.
But even more so, Randy, I will tell you, I've started to shift my mindset to moving away from fighting anti-Semitism, because I think it's a lost battle.
That's a lost battle.
But I'm moving to pro-Semitism.
And it doesn't matter. You're so right.
Pro-Semitism. That's where we're going, Randy. Pro-Semitism.
Today I'm giving you a free copy of my book, and I want you to read it, because that's what it's all about. It's about hadar, pride, and knowing where you come from, where you've been the last 30 years,
yes,
where we've been, where we are now,
yes,
and where we're going.
Yes.
Unfortunately, to a great extent, the best of us have already left for Israel.
Well, again,
unfortunately and unfortunately.
And see, listen, I'm a proud American. I grew up in the Midwest. I consider myself to be an American. I'm a proud, passionate Jew. I am a Zionist. I believe in the state of Israel. I believe that B'nai Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael are inextricably linked, connected forever.
Right.
I also advocate, and a large part of my mission is to advocate for the truth of the relationship between the USA and Israel, not on a theocratic level, but on a purely as a utility, functional, materially benefit, intelligent benefit, education benefit, technology transfer and sharing benefit.
Absolutely.
There's so many benefits to the relationship that it's just insane to me that even the Jews who are against Netanyahu, which is fine, don't recognize and accept the value to this country that Israel plays on so many levels, just in farming. Look what they've developed in terms of farming technology.
Look, you're getting me wrong, I think, because I'm not casting dispersions on the American Jewish community.
Good.
I am only saying that the ideological people that understand the meaning that Zionism is not a political word.
Yes.
That there's hundreds of thousands of churches all around the world that have Zion in their name.
Yes.
And that it's the destiny of the Jewish people.
Yes.
And quite frankly, with the rate of anti-Semitism, with the tsunami of hate we in this country have one stalwart advocate, and that is the evangelical Christians. And how do we relate to them? Only thing they care about is that we are the people of the book. Gone of our 1,500 delis. Gone are 500 appetizing
Well, I mean,
stores.
to be fair, as much as I love that food, to be honest, a lot of, you talk about the Ashkenazi, it's ghetto food, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, it's not so healthy.
But it doesn't matter.
My grandfather ate kishkas, I mean, it wasn't so healthy.
Well, I'm not talking about that. Everybody loved them, Jew and non-Jew, for a pastrami sandwich. The few places that are left, they have a line around the corner for that. But it's not about that. It's they identify with that. Yiddish, it has evaporated. There is no more ethno. All that's left is we are the people of the book. But many of us haven't read the book. Many of us have become unbound by the book.
Yes.
And so...
But that's just why, to that point, Randy, and I say this, thank God for Chabad. In my opinion, what you're describing is a problem. I believe Chabad is the one organization, the one Jewish group that, in fact, is on the ground actually countering this effort, because I can say myself personally, I didn't know how to wrap tefillin until I met Chabad.
Beautiful.
And if it wasn't for Chabad, in my view, I would have been another lost soul out there without, even though I was a passionate Jew, I am grateful for what Chabad is
I'm
doing.
with you. The emissaries all over the world, they're there to meet you on whatever level. I was born in Crown Heights, even though I'm half Italian American. I would go back when I was older. I saw the Rabbi. I prayed with him in his little chamber off the side of 770. A very strong connection. In this hotel, there was a displaced congregation at the Eldridge Street Synagogue. The rabbi was Chabad, Rabbi Stone. I gave him my entertainment space before I created the kosher Italian restaurant. 7.5 years, gratis, l'shem mitzvah. Because
Baruch Hashem.
this is the epicenter of Jewish life in America.
So Randy, if you can, just for the audience, because in case they don't know, just give us a 2-second about the hotel, where it's located, and how it came to be.
I spent most of my life here. I went to RJJ, Rabbi Jacob Joseph, who was the oldest yeshiva in America. It was founded with the name of the chief rabbi. There was so many history there. We had a little park, and this is a side thing, but just something I loved. And it was dedicated to his grandson who died in Korea, Captain Jacob Joseph. And the Lower East Side is the cradle of Jewish life in America. I actually give tours about the hotel and the history here. 2 million Jews came through here. That was more than 20% of the worldwide Jewish population.
We're in the Lower East Side of Manhattan in New York City right now.
Almost every Jew in America can trace their history here. Somewhere, sometime they stopped here.
And what year did you buy this hotel? Or the property?
I bought the first half in 1997. I started to work on it in 2001. It took me 5 years.
And it was a rundown tenement building.
I ripped everything out.
This was one of the last tenements in the Lower East Side that Randy, an artist and developer, bought and has built and turned from a tenement into this amazing luxury hotel that's completely kosher.
Chosen by National Geographic. One of 150 in the Western Hemisphere. You
got to check it out. It's very cool.
But I also have a Jewish gallery here, so to speak, because as an artist, a lot of my work is, I have my Guernica, which is called Diaspora. It's 2,000 years of Jewish life.
Sure.
I have Itamar, about a family, Fogel family, that was 6 people killed in their sleep. I have my book here at a discount compared to Amazon. Shh, don't tell anybody.
So what we're saying is, if you're a Jew, you're a non-Jew, wherever around the world, this is an amazing experience. We're at 100 Orchard Street on the Lower East Side, Manhattan, New York City. Randy Settenbrino, artist, owner, Zionist, writer, passionate Jew, Torah Jew, chef, all-around good guy. I highly recommend sending him a note, paying him with visits. Randy, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. It was wonderful speaking to you, and really love what you're doing. And really, there should be many more like you in Israel. And hopefully between the two of us, and if they read my book, Between the Altar and the Sanctuary, and my articles on Substack and Aretz Sheva, we'll get them there.
Baruch Hashem, thank you so much.